Hey, it's great to see you today. Welcome to this episode of BarlowBBQ. Today we're going to try out some spare ribs from ButcherBox. We just started a subscription with ButcherBox. We're actually on our second month. We've been ordering the classic custom boxes. The classic boxes are just a little bit smaller, which is perfect for just the two of us. And we went the custom route because we like picking out all the different kinds of meats we're going to get every month. And for this month's box, we picked out some pork spare ribs. Now, I've done spare ribs a lot of times, but I've never tried any ribs from ButcherBox, so I'm really curious to see what those are like. I'm going to fire up my Weber kettle grill. We're going to season up those ribs with some rub, and then we're going to smoke them until they're nice and tender. So stick around. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to seeing how these ButcherBox spare ribs are going to turn out. Let's get started. All right, y'all, here are the ribs that we got from ButcherBox, and this is a rack of St. Louis style ribs, and it weighs just under 3 pounds. I think it's 2.8 to be exact. And let's see, this little tag says pork raised by U.S. family farmers committed to sustainable and humane practices. Well, I can definitely get behind that. No antibiotics ever, no added hormones ever, all vegetarian feeds. Pork chosen for flavor and quality, gluten-free. As you can see, these definitely are a smaller rack, but it is just Martha and I here today, so this should be perfect for the two of us. So I'm going to go ahead and get this unwrapped, and we'll get some seasoning on these. Okay, I've got these ribs unwrapped, and they are all ready to go. You can take a little bit better look at them right here. These are looking pretty good. And I'm just going to keep it really simple today. We're going to put a spice rub on these. We're going to use this Memphis Original Rendezvous famous seasoning right here. We're going to get the spice rub on there. We're going to smoke them in the Weber kettle. And that's going to be it. I'm not doing any glaze. I'm not going to do any barbecue sauce on these ribs. I just want to taste the quality of these ribs as best as I can. And I don't want to cover them up with a bunch of sauce and all that other stuff. And here's the underside. I already did remove the membrane from these and did a little bit of trimming on the end, but there wasn't much trimming to be done. These were already really well trimmed up. So let's get a little bit of spice rub on this side here first. Now we don't need a lot because this is the bottom. A little breezy here today, so of course my rub is flying everywhere except for going onto the ribs. All right, there we have it. We got the ribs all rubbed up and ready to go. I'm gonna put these in the fridge while I get the kettle fired up. So I'll meet you back out here when the grill is fired up and it's time to get these ribs on. Hey, I've got my grill all fired up here. And just wanted to show you my setup real quick. Today we're going to be doing those ribs indirect on this grill. All right, so I've got all my coal right back here on this side, and I actually have all my coal in a slow and sear. It's essentially a giant charcoal basket, real handy to have when you're doing long smokes like we are today. In the corner, I've got about 20 charcoal briquettes that are going. They're lit up, they're fired up, they're ready to go. And then I filled up the rest of this charcoal basket with unlit charcoal. And instead of wood chunks today, I'm using these new Kingsford flavor boosters. And this is savory herbs like basil, sage, thyme, good stuff like that. And it's blended in there with some oak wood. All right, so that's going to give us a little bit of wood smoke along with some flavor. All right, so I got 2 of those in there, and I'm going to get the lid on here in just a second. I've got my bottom vent wide open, and I'm going to leave my top vent open all the way just for a little bit. We're looking for a temp of around 275, maybe 300 degrees. Okay, so the lid is going back on, and I'll come back here in about maybe 15-20 minutes. We'll see how that grill temp is coming along, and we should be able to get those ribs on. The Weber's all fired up. It's come up to temp. It's looking good. We're ready to get these ribs on. Okay, got them right here. All right, here we go. Just lay them on just like that. Now again, these weigh just shy of 3 pounds, so I'm thinking today's cook should be about 3 to 4 hours. I'm not wrapping them in any foil or anything like this. I just leave them on here and smoke them until they are probe tender. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. But for now, let's get this lid back on. And because I've got both my bottom and top vents wide open, I'm gonna monitor my grill temp over this next hour. If things get a little bit too crazy in there, I'll close down this top vent just a little bit. But yeah, let's let these go for an hour or two, and we'll come back and check them out, see how they're doing. All right, y'all. These ribs have been on the kettle now for 2 hours. Let's go ahead and open her up, see how they're doing. Temps have been holding strong. Oh yeah. That's looking like a good rack of ribs right there, y'all. This charcoal back here is doing great. Still has plenty of burn left in it. I've got my handy dandy thermometer right here. I want to get the temperature, but I also want to check on the tenderness too. I want to check to see how it feels when I push this probe thermometer in there and see what kind of resistance I'm getting. Yep, still feel a little resistance in there. Let's try that again where maybe we can all see. Try not to hit a bone. There we go. All right, that is reading 174. Get another reading over here. That's 162. Hey, so we definitely have some time to go yet on these ribs. Get this covered up. We'll let these keep smoking. Right now their temps are 160 to 170. They're going to be finished when temps are around 190, 195, 200 degrees. So let's give these another hour, and we'll come back and check on them, see how they're doing. See you soon. All right, y'all. It's been 30 minutes since I saw you guys last. Total cooking time up to this point has been 3 hours. Now, I know that I said I was going to wait another hour until I checked on these ribs, but you know what? My barbecue spidey sense started to tingle. So I wanted to come out here and check them out. And would you look at those? Woo, you definitely got some pullback from the bone coming right here. And look at that, we got this bone just popping right out right there. So without even having to check the temperature on these, I'm gonna say that these are done. That would be my wager. But I do have a little probe thermometer here. Let's check for tenderness, and let's take a temp check and confirm my suspicions. All right, let's check them out here. Tenderness check, feeling really good. I can insert this probe with very little resistance going in and pulling out, so that's a good sign. Let's see where we're at here. That is reading 190. Let's see, 197, 198 right there. Let's see what we're looking like here. 193. These are feeling great. Tenderness is just where I'd like it to be, as is the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off the grill. I've got a cutting board. Let's put them on the cutting board. Put a little foil on top of there and let them rest for about 30 minutes. And then we'll come back out, slice them up, and give them a taste test. All right, I got to come in from this angle here. Oh yeah. All right, there we go. I've got my aluminum foil inside, so I'll go ahead and tent these with some foil and let them rest for about 20-30 minutes. And these should be good to go. I can't wait to give them a try. The ribs have rested for about 20 minutes now. It's time to slice these up, and let's give them a taste test. And like I said earlier, we're going to keep these dry today. We're just going to go with the seasoning that we put on there, not adding any glaze, not adding any barbecue sauce. So let's see, we'll try to maybe cut them right down the middle to start there. There we go. I will admit my knife could use a little sharpening. Now these are from ButcherBox once again. So let's take a look at these spare ribs here. Pretty thin for spare ribs, but I think these are going to be pretty good. Got a little smoke ring going on there, but not the meatiest ribs in the world, but that's okay. let's go ahead and try these out. All right, I'm looking forward to trying out these ribs. First time I've ever tried any ribs from ButcherBox. So I think this one looks pretty good right here.
I'm going to try this one.
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Flavor-wise, I'm not too impressed, but that's mostly due to the seasoning I used. Needs more salt.
Needs something, but
the ribs themselves.
But the ribs are excellent.
The ribs themselves are really good. Nice and tender. The ribs are great.
Yep, very juicy, especially for that rub.
Oh yeah.
Because the rub's not really doing it any favors, so.
No,
it's good.
Unfortunately, the rub was not a good call on my part, but the ribs, I'm impressed. They did hold up.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're not dried out at all for being as small as they are. So I'm happy with that. That's great.
Yeah, it's not like they're inedible.
Oh yeah. So my verdict for the ButcherBox spare ribs, thumbs up for sure.
Oh yeah, thumbs up.
Verdict for this Rendezvous Memphis style seasoning, that's a thumbs down.
I think we're just gonna throw that in the trash.
It's worked on other things before, so you know I don't
Maybe
get
it's stale.
What the it could be a little stale. Yeah.
I did get it from the Trainwreck store.
Oh well, there you go.
If you guys are unfamiliar with the Trainwreck store, that's where they sell like loads of stuff super cheap, and you don't know how it got there. And I think it's because it was in a train wreck.
But these ribs are great. I'm happy with these. So if you're thinking about ButcherBox spare ribs, I would say pull the trigger. They're very good.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. We love you. And as always, smoke them if you got them.
That's right.
Just stay away from the Trainwreck store.
Well,